It's not enough time.
Okay, can you go around that way?
Are we live?
We're live, I think, guys.
Hi.
We don't really know.
There's a
We didn't talk
psychopath.
about who's going to host this thing. So let's just kick it off. I'll take it since I'm talking and I have a loud mouth. So I'm John Robb. Welcome to G12, guys. This is a little pre-game show. Instead of the weekly game this week, obviously we've got a big matchup tonight between bakervision and Ohio State and the newest member of G12, saintbreessus and OSU. This is kind of a remake from Thursday night. They weren't able to play due to some connection issues, but saintbreessus is kind of taking care of that. So we're going to do a little pregame wrap-up of the 3 games that have been played this week. We've got to my, if I think about the opposite, I think it's to my left. No, it's to my right. I was wrong. Got to do this backwards, guys. Sorry. Is Rocky Top. Down below me is Hottie Toddy. And then
What up? I'm Rocky Top now?
Rocky. I don't know. I've got a toddler in the background. Apparently, I wasn't ready to go live. So we've got Hardcore to my right. Hey, I'm live on the internet.
We were sharing the bourbon
It's a
before
train
you
wreck.
guys got on the show.
All right,
We're
let's
off
start
to a
over.
great start tonight.
This is terrible. Mac's not here, so it's just going to be a train wreck. None of us are used to doing this. Hardcore.
I'm not even on the weekly show normally. I just jumped in tonight, so let's do this thing.
This is Bert. Can you cut the stream and let's start over? No, I'm just kidding. So,
Oh my gosh.
Hardcore is to my right. Below me is the great Hottie Toddy, and to my diagonal is the great E-Migs. So, how you guys doing tonight? We'll start with Hardcore there. How you doing, Hardcore, or Rocky Top, whatever your name is? No talkie. He quit on me. The dog is barking. So, Hottie Toddy, how are you doing, my man?
I'm great. My dog's asleep right next to me, so I'm doing well. Glad to be joining you guys tonight for this preview show and game tonight. Excited to have some G12 action again.
Absolutely. E-Mix, how you doing, my brother?
Yeah, I'm doing good. We got a Cavs game against the Clippers here in 45 minutes kicking off, so I'll keep the updates coming. But like Hottie Toddy said, it should be fun. We got like an impromptu weekly show combined with a 4-man booth, so it should be fun.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like it's going to go bad at all. So let's start with the first game on top here. This is the Wednesday night game. We had our own Hardcore, I apparently don't know his name, in Penn State, and Kaz Cray in Florida State. We'll start with you, E-Megs. How'd you I'll just kind of recap this one. How'd it go for you? What do you think about this one? I
mean, well, luckily we have Hardcore in here, so he can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Kaz probably played the best game versus Hardcore we've seen so far. I went to eat dinner during like the start of the third quarter, but it was close, and Hardcore was telling me it was close all the way to the fourth, and then the mistakes started coming. So it just seemed like you couldn't make any one mistake. Like they were battling, it was close, but you couldn't make any mistake in that game against Penn State, and unfortunately Kaz did, and he was able to pull away there in the fourth. The score shows, but it was close from what I saw.
Yeah, absolutely it was. It was a great game. Hottie Toddy, did you get a chance to catch this one?
I did. I caught it, and I said in the booth last week that I thought Kaz Cray would be the best opponent that Hardcore had played so far this year, and I think the score probably held up to that. I still think Hardcore is a tough opponent to beat. As I've said, I will not pick against him the rest of the season. I'm not saying that means he's going to go undefeated, but I think he's just going to be tough to beat moving forward.
Yeah, stop tooting his horn too much, guys. Hardcore, give us your thoughts on this game.
Now. All of y'all bash him on this show, so
I do not.
He's the worst. Because he's the worst.
He is a terrible person. But I give him due. I'm the one person that gives him due in fairness on this show. Hardcore, what did you give a thoughts of that game against Kaz? Can you talk now, I hope?
I can talk now, yeah. I don't know what Ozzy heard, but he was going crazy down there. Maybe just wanted John to shut up. I'm not really sure. But no, Kaz, good opponent. Really fun game. Enjoyed it. Played really well defensively. Kept me on my toes a little bit. He's going to take care of business probably the rest of the way in the G12.
Yeah, absolutely. I can agree with all those things. It was definitely we say it was the greatest game. It ended up being a 25-point game, but I don't think the score indicated how close it was. It was close until the fourth quarter, and a couple of mistakes cost them. Next game, we had Thrizzy in Miami versus Rocky Top and Tennessee. This was once again a really good one. Hotty Toddy, did you get a chance to catch any of this game?
I did. I caught a little bit of it, and I just have to say, like, props to Thrizzy. I think Thrizzy probably had, like, maybe the toughest start to the G12, and especially caught some, like bad breaks in his first few games, and I just feel like he has really battled back probably the best of anybody so far in the G12, and he's really impressed me lately.
Completely agree. E-Migs, give us your rundown on this one.
Thrizzy, man, he's really good with both of those safeties back there, playmaker, and then I forget what the vampire or something is the other one. But and then he has a ton of speedy weapons on offense. He looks like he's just starting to get the hang of these games now with the new settings and just player games and lag. Rocky Top, I thought, also looked really good. He was able to battle back. He had some huge bombs to like kind of get it close, but just couldn't quite get it there. You mentioned Thrizzy had a tough start. Rocky Top's had a really hard start too. He had obviously hardcore week 1, and then Thrizzy, who I think Thrizzy's like flying up my power rankings. He's easily number 2 for me right now.
Yeah, I don't like to toot my own horn, but I think I said this game next week was one of the best games of the week. Not to look forward, but that's speaking of the guy we've got in the booth and Thrizzy. They've got a game next week, and I think this one lived up to the hype. It was a close game till late, and Thrizzy ended up pulling it back. Defense looks really good for him. But, yeah, to take those punches that he took earlier in the first couple of weeks and still have the record that he does, very impressive. Hardcore, did you get a chance to catch any of this game?
Yeah, I did, and I agree with what Hotty Toddy and E-Mig said. The only thing I would add to that, I don't want to say it too much because I'm playing him next week and it's going to be a good game, but we saw him have a lead in the fourth quarter against Stoner, and he gave that up. We saw him have actually a pretty decent lead in the fourth quarter against Rocky Top, and he kind of let Rocky Top sneak back in here and make this fun in the game. So I think he just needs to do a better job closing games up. Otherwise, yeah, he's looking really good.
Yeah, I think he would admit to that, right? Being up 2 games, 14 points in the second half and letting those sleep away, one of those specifically in the fourth quarter. He was up by two possessions in both games and ended up losing those. So I think that's fair criticism and hopefully something he's working to correct. The game that was probably the most exciting of the week was the Monday night game, right? I think we had the most fun at that. It was Coach Burt in Texas, who we now know after this week is leaving his coaching duties, and we have Uncle Sam coming in for that. But his last showing was a great one against Yofi and Notre Dame. E-Mix, will kick it off with you. What did you think about this one?
I mean, awesome game by Texas and that defense. A really good game, too, by Yofi, able to just kind of against mitigating circumstances, able to fight against that defense and get the points he needed. But Yofi just hasn't looked very impressive for me so far. And on the flip side, I don't think this could have been a better way for Burt to go out. He didn't get the win, but this was probably his best game against the user. I think he looked awesome. It was a 4-quarter game. So I shout out to Burt. I thought he did a great job. And then Yofi's got to step it up. He's been struggling, and he hasn't looked very impressive to me.
Yeah, Hardcore, give us your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, I agree with you, E-Mix. I just realized that you had the Office background. That's so funny. No, I agree. And I tell you what, I mean, you saw what Burt was able to do with Texas. I mean, that Texas team, they were ranked 3rd, I believe, in the top 20 average when I did those top 20 averages. So they have a really good team. Now Uncle Sam coming in. I'm assuming Uncle Sam's a little bit better of a ball player than Fantasy. I mean, Texas is a team you got to pay attention to because they got a loaded lineup, and now they got what should be a pretty competitive player user in them now.
I think Ellinger's probably top 3 or 4, right, ratings-wise? He's got to be.
Yeah, I mean, he's up there.
Yeah, he's up there. I don't
remember specifically, but yeah, I mean, he's definitely the top 5, I think, as far as quarterbacks with the rosters that they're playing with, for sure. So, Hotty Toddy, you called this game. I know you enjoyed calling it. Give us your thoughts on this one.
I did. I had a blast calling it. I had a bad streak of where I had a bunch of blowouts every game I called, and this one was anything but that. People always say there aren't moral victories. But if there is such a thing as moral victories, this was absolutely one for Coach Burt, and especially for it to be his swan song, to go out on this high note. I mean, he played the game of his life. It was an awesome competitive game. Coach Burt will be missed as the coach of Texas, but I know he's doing great things behind the scenes and running this whole shindig we call the G12, and we're all thankful for that for sure.
Yeah, man, he's given up a little bit of family time just to kind of makeshift kind of produce tonight. So the man is like 24/7, as we know, as far as G12, and to see him almost to have that opportunity on that last drive to kind of steal the game and just not be able to cash in was heartbreaking in a little bit of a way. But I'm excited for Uncle Sam's to kind of come in and take over for him as well. So that's another thing we get to talk about after the game this week. But to see him go out with that was super fun. So let's talk about tonight. We've got bakervision and Ohio State versus saintbreessus and Oklahoma State. Let's see, Hotty Toddy, we'll just start with you since we ended with you last.
I have a question.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Are we starting 3-3 or is it starting from scratch?
I think they're just going to restart the game as if it didn't happen. That's my understanding. Yeah, this is a start from scratch kind of thing, 0-0, like nothing happened on Thursday. I mean, it was a tie game, so it doesn't really make a difference. We'll just play the full game out, right? So
I'm fine with that. Sorry, Hotty Toddy. Didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good, man. I'm really excited to see this game. I mean, getting a new coach in here, getting his action to see what Breezes can bring to this league. I think, too, it's going to be interesting to see how Baker responds after what I'm saying is losing a game last week he probably shouldn't have lost. I think that was a bit of an upset. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this game plays out tonight. You know, we did have a little Breezes gate going this past week. You know, maybe y'all saw some talk of that. But we'll see what happens tonight. Praying for no more controversy going into the game tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. He's got a brand new game, a brand new Xbox. He's like, surely nothing can go wrong, right? So he's tested it all out. It should work. Hardcore, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think it's going to – I mean, it was kind of funny. That gave us a little bit of a tease when we got to see one drive each from both of them. And from what I saw there, I think it's going to come down to the running backs. You got Big Al's workout for Oklahoma State, averaging 5.7 yards per carry right now. Just in a little bit we saw from St. Breezes, it looked like he was going to feed Big Al's workout and have some space in the process. And then Reaper on the other end for Ohio State and bakervision. You know Baker likes to set up that run and hit that play action pass over the top. So whoever can establish the run better probably can have a better chance to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree. That's a big key to the game. E-Migs, anything to add on to that?
I mean, Hardcore kind of mentioned it. I think it's kind of cool. So we basically just got like a little 4-minute practice session, and really no answers came out of that. It was 3-3, both teams able to move the ball. Both teams kind of not struggled, but it was a battle. They weren't flying down the field. Actually, no, didn't Baker he was picking up chunks, wasn't he?
Yeah, he scored quick. It took St. Breezes a little bit longer to get down the field. They both ended up kicking the field goal, but it was chunk plays for Ohio State as opposed to a little bit longer drives for St. Breezes.
Yeah, I mean, I picked Ohio State to win. I think Baker's going to pull it out. That's more based on I don't know much about Breezes.
Right, yeah. Similar to most of the guys in the league at this point, most of these guys are playing, revamped a lot, or at least NCAA a lot, or, they're just in this game a lot. So they get plenty of snaps, I think, each week. He looked like he could hold his own, obviously, last week. So I don't know how much of a drop-off or if it's up or down between him and Mac. It looked like it's going to be pretty even as far as the user control goes. So I think it should be really interesting. You guys bring up that. Man, Baker's coming off a really just tough loss last week, over a week now, to Stoner. And that's the thing, right? Like that game was it felt like he got NCA'd a little bit there from time to time. Just, things like an interception to a lateral. I know he was frustrated from that and kind of took a break from the game. So we'll see if he can kind of get mentally back into it and kind of get over that hump of trying to not think about that game against Stoner and just push in to look at this game with Oklahoma State. So, let's talk about picks. E-Migs, who do you got in this one?
I already said, yeah. I'm taking.
Did you say? I didn't miss it.
No, it's fine. I spoiled it. I'm taking Baker based on I've seen him play before, and I think he's pretty good. And I don't know much about Breezes.
I didn't hear you mention Hotty Toddy. Who do you like in this one?
Hey, I'm sticking with Baker as well. I think we're going to see a bounce-back game from Baker. Agreed. I don't know much about Breezes. I just followed him the other day for the first time. But I don't know. I think Baker's got the more talented team, and I think he's probably the better user too. So I'm taking Baker tonight.
Hardcore, you can pick or not pick. You're a coach. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll throw a pick in there just because everyone's rolling with Baker. I was originally going to take Baker, and the computer has Baker by 5 points. I will say this, though. Oklahoma State's team roster-wise, I think it's like 4th or 5th in the G12. It's not that much worse than Ohio State's. I think Breezes fights and finds a way to get this one done, especially if Baker struggles early. We saw him kind of lose his temper, lose his cool a little bit. If he kind of gets NCAA'd twice in a row, it might kind of go down a slippery slope pretty fast for the Buckeyes.
Unfortunately, earlier this week, we already kind of took our picks. I think E-Migs and I did. I took Baker at that point. I'm not going to change that, regardless if it was Mac or Breezes or not. You know what I mean? So I'm going to still pick Baker out of fairness, as that's what my pick was in our chat when we didn't have the thing. It's really a coin flip to me for both of these guys. You can kind of see their stats. I know one is Mac's stats, basically, compared to what Breezes is going to run, but you can kind of see really good turnover differential for Mac with the 0. That's pretty good in a user kind of thing. And we're ready here. I guess we're going to go 4 ways, guys, if you're okay with that. I know I'm going to kind of sit back and let somebody take charge and do the play-by-play, which will probably be hardcore, I would imagine. And we'll just we'll do a 4-man booth. I don't have a problem with that. And we'll just kind of chime in as it goes. But hardcore, you want to take it and do the play-by-play? It's all yours, bro. Well, he's muted. You're muted there. There you go.
We're off to a great start, aren't we?
Just like the show.
We Hayden, don't bite anything. Yeah, I can do that. I'll just kick it to you guys when I feel best here, and as long as my dog doesn't try to drink any more of my whiskey here. And when the kick is away, it looks like Oklahoma State is going to get the ball first. Tillman's got it out. He's going to bounce to the outside, and there's a little bit of room to go. But oh nuts, he's brought down just before the 20-yard line, and that's where saintbreessus will take over with the ball. 80 yards away from the end zone. Here come the Cowboys on their horses. I've got to find a way to make this a bigger screen.
Well, while you're doing that, this probably won't be overly professional just because there are 4 goofballs in the booth, to be honest. But can we talk about why is it a Van Gundy kind of thing? Is that why he's going with the mullet hair? Is that the point of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Indeed it is. That ball is dangerously thrown, almost intercepted over there. Magdub Gaming, he changed the quarterback from Spread D to Magdub Gaming, kind of showing his respect to the former coach who had to leave because of what he did in the, what was that, pornographic? No, I'm just kidding. But shout out to Magdub. We missed him a bunch. Here's 2nd and 10 now. Back. Here's the throw. Magdub Gaming. Oh, is it intercepted? It is. It's picked off. Just like that, the Ohio State Buckeyes get a quick interception and the ball at the 31-yard line. And here we go. E-Mix, what do you think of that pick?
I mean, crazy footwork right there, able to pull it in. I don't know if you're able to review it or challenge it, but yeah, what a hell of a catch there to stay in bounds for that defensive back. I don't know who it was.
Yeah, Hotty Toddy, your thoughts on that great play there by bakervision?
Hey, we talked that Baker had to get out to a great start, couldn't get behind early, and what better way to start than getting a pick on your first drive?
Hey, Ryan, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Looks like he's going fast now. Again, Reaper is the man, the myth, the legend in the backfield. He's going to go play action right away. He's going to jump it to the right side. It's his tight end out in space. He got the first down. He's got a little bit more. He's bumbling inside the 15, and this is a great opportunity for the Buckeyes to score soon here, John.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is kind of a train wreck a little bit for St. Breeze. It's kind of talking about opposite of that little scrimmage that we had where he just kind of controlled the ball, drove down no problems, and kicked a field goal. I mean, this is kind of almost catastrophic start. Nothing they can't bounce back from, but tough start.
Tackles, man.
Yeah, and I actually just lost the screen again. Apologize.
Rocky Top actually just said you can't challenge in user games, which I did not know.
We'll be fine.
Well, that seems to make sense.
I didn't know that either.
Okay, now we know.
Now they're going to go read option. Justin Fields
Nice
has a little bit of wiggle.
play.
He's going to wiggle his way into the end zone. Excuse me, it's Drew Lock. And Drew Lock has himself locked in the end zone for 6 points. And the Buckeyes have an early lead on the road.
It's a much faster Drew Lock than we're used to in real life.
Seriously though, I mean,
Yeah,
what a great start for Baker. I mean, absolutely needed this. I think this automatically clears any mental block he may have had coming into this game. Getting that early pick. I know Baker, I mean, he'll be the first to tell you that his defense is not the greatest. But really against Natty, we saw him put up a good defensive performance. And so maybe that's what we're off to a start here too.
Yeah, this is a pretty important drive now here for Saintbreessus. You know, he's a freshman, he's new on the G12 he makes, and all of a sudden he's down 7 at home.
Honestly, that's what I would do. His running back is the best player.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything that he can't bounce back from. Like I said, I mean, he's kind of got to slow down and just kind of run your offense still. It's like not panic mode. I mean, it's a tough start, but you know, just control the ball now, get a drive, and get some points, and you know, you're still within this game.
And no doubt about it. And he goes right back to Big Al's workout there for 5 yards, and that's kind of the man he needs to feed. That's what Mac Dub did, and it seemed to work out well for him. E-Migs, do you think he's going to be able to feed Big Al's workout, or do you think Baker might, you know, crack down on him and make him throw the ball a little bit more?
I think between or Spencer Sanders and Chuba Hubbard, he'll be able to figure out a run game, just if it's through the read option or. Nice pass.
They're going to call illegal touching. I believe he went out of bounds on his own. That's going to cost him the down and 5 yards. So now 3rd and 10 instead of first down. It's going to be 3rd and 10. Big change of events there. And John down 7 now 3rd and 10 here.
Yeah. This is kind of like a catastrophic event. I mean, you get a guy wide open for like a 15, 20-yard gain, and he just barely steps out of bounds. It's tough. It's going to be tough mentally to kind of get out of this kind of deal. And now,
and he tried to get around the defensive end there, unable to do so. And MacDub Gaming just barely touches out of bounds. 3 and out, and he's going to have to punt the football back to Baker down 7.
Can I make a comment? Is Saintbreessus the only player coach in the league, as we saw him at wide receiver there? Is that the only deal here?
I think so.
He definitely is.
He's a player coach. He's like Jackie Moon. And here comes Ohio State. We know he's a dangerous punt returner. He had a couple good ones against Nasty. Here's another going, shake and bake, and he's got himself on the right side of the 50. DeMario McCall with the big gain. I don't know where Luigi is, E-Migs. Is that Luigi right here? E-Migs, are you Luigi?
No, I'm not, but that's apparently in like the past 2 weeks, there's 2 rival political opponents in Italy right now named Mario and Luigi, and that's actual fact. They're fighting right now in the news.
That's a big rip right there.
All right, and maybe that's a fireball right there from Reaper. Reaper refusing to go down, and he picks up 8 yards. And so far, everything is clicking for this Ohio State offense, E-Migs.
Yeah, they look good. Like, it's actually 2 similar offenses, right? A really good running back, really good quarterback, both really good running quarterback-wise. So they're trying to get it figured out on the ground first, and then stuff like this.
There's the big curl route.
Yep.
That's a good call.
Does he like his girlfriend's hair straightened or curled? I think we found the answer to that one as he gets it out to the right side, picks up a huge gain, finds himself inside the 15 yet again. And right now, the Cowboys, I don't know if they're on their horses. They might be stuck on their meals the way this game has started out for them. There's Reaper back inside, gets another 6, and now it's 2nd and 3. Thank you for the follow. Loaf of bread.
Yeah, loaf of bread 44. Man, loves his bread. I love it. I love the name.
God,
this is as perfect as started as this is for Baker. It's like the complete opposite for Saintbreessus. This couldn't possibly be any worse. And we've seen people come back from 14, but just a beautiful start for Baker. Honestly, a pick 6, a great return, great field position. It looks like he's going to get 14 points possibly out of this thing, minus a mistake.
Yeah, you know, we saw Baker go fast. Now he's slowed it down a little bit. There's a slant route over the middle, and it is going to be dropped. A nice catch there by his feet, and it will be incomplete. 3rd and short coming up. The first 3rd down of the game for the Buckeyes. Pretty big play here, Hotty Toddy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, big difference in going down 14-0 and only 10-0. Saintbreessus really got to get a stop here to really feel like he's still absolutely in this game.
Yeah, he's going to pass the ball. It's a dangerous throw, and it's going to be caught on the left side. A slant route. Garrett Wilson beats the defender, and just like that, it is 14-0. E-Migs, as you continue to blow smoke over there, it looks like Oklahoma State's defense, and really the entire team is blowing smoke right now.
They're going to have to figure out something fast on both sides of the ball. Only 4 minutes into this game, already 2 scores for Ohio State. Not even a first down for Oklahoma State. Breessus is going to have to figure something out fast.
I kind of blame myself for this because I'm sure he found out that I took Saintbreessus, and he's decided to just release an avalanche of Buckeyes on to Boone Pickens Stadium here. Tillman's going to try to find room to the outside, but he is met yet again. And right now, I mean, Baker, I don't know what he took, if it was rabies or horse tranquilizer, I don't know what, but he's all jacked up a Mountain Dew.
Gonna come at you like a spider monkey.
That's a Chip.
First and 10 now. Counter play coming here for Big Al's workout. He's going to try to run up the middle, and he has no success. And Hottie Toddy, you've watched a lot of Baker Vision. We sometimes say he's not the best player defensively, but so far in this game, he has come out looking astute on defense.
He absolutely has. I spend a lot of time in Baker's stream, but I think this is also kind of part of it is like when Baker is just way more locked in on user games than he ever is on a CPU game. Defensively, it seems. And I feel like when he is locked in, he can play with anybody in this league.
Yeah, and then Big Al's workout. I mean, that was a huge run there for Big Al's workout. Big run for saintbreessus, the new G12 coach's confidence. He gets a first down, and maybe, just maybe, they put the saddle on the horse and they're ready to go, John.
Yeah, that's what we got to see more out of. We talked about at the beginning of the game. The key to the game is the running game. And we've seen a lot more throws so far out of saintbreessus, and he just needs to lock into this workhorse of Big Al's workout and just utilize him and run him to death at this point.
And there's pressure up the middle. He's lucky to get rid of the football there. There's an avalanche again of defensive players for the Buckeyes all over the field that time, and lucky just to get that one away incomplete. Magdub Gaming right now 0 for 3 for an interception. He hasn't really lit the world on fire coming into this one to begin with, but not really starting this game out any better.
It's not good. Not good, Bob.
2nd and 10 now. Looks like a single high safety for the Buckeyes. Looks like it's a read option, and this time MacDub keeps it. Gaming has a little space. Oh, a missed opportunity there. The blocker did the good old lookout block and turned around and said look out before he got tackled. It could have been a big gain. I guess St. Breeze probably a little disappointed. I couldn't have at least been a 15-yard gain. Picked up 9, 3rd and short, he makes.
I like it. I like the call I mentioned earlier. If it's not going to be Big Al, he needs to take advantage on the ground with MacDub.
Yeah, you see on the ticker below, 0-1 on 3rd down today. But this one's at least more manageable. He's just going to run it right up the gut. He's a little shake and bake, and they're going to give him the first.
I don't know about that.
I mean, that was a little bit of a hometown stick management there because the Lynx looked like he was definitely going to be short. I'm sure Baker – I feel like Baker gets screwed a lot on the spotting of footballs. I mean, I don't know what it is, but he usually comes up on the wrong side of things. But a big first down, big 3rd down conversion for saintbreessus, and it looks like maybe he's starting to gain a little bit of confidence here at Hottie Toddy.
Yeah, I was just going to say there's a reason the NCAA emote is Baker's, because I swear it does happen to him more than anybody else.
There's a curl route, so Breessus, the head coach saintbreessus throws it to saintbreessus, and saintbreessus has himself a first down and says, hey, I can do curl routes too. And man, that guy has some really good-looking arms. I mean, I'm talking Greek goddess arms over there. I mean, he just must have lathered himself up in some oil or some, I don't know what, cocoa butter. I don't know what he had going on, but man, that guy is looking good over there. 1st and 10 now. saintbreessus now on the right side of the 50. Moving the ball quite well here. Baker's committing a lot to the box. It's going to be a run up the middle. Big Al will work out to the outside. Nowhere to go. The gym is closed. Big Al's workout loses the yard. He makes big stop right there.
The edge for Ohio State, I don't know if they just look so fast. They're catching. He was able to break off that 16-yard run earlier, kind of off a user error, but these edge defenders for Ohio State are just closing the gap fast. I don't know what the counter is here for Breessus.
The counter is to come out 5 wide. Here's a throw. Oh, that was a dangerous throw. I mean, that was like trying to kiss your cousin at the Christmas dinner table. You know what I'm saying? Like you can try it, but it's a little bit risky. He's able to pick up a yard, but man, that was not really worth it. 3rd and 8 now.
This is why we made him play-by-play, by the way, because he's entertaining us too.
Yeah, I'm trying not to laugh too much, but to be honest.
3rd and 8, another big 3rd down. It goes right back to the curl route. The man with a really nice arm picks up another first down, 14 more yards, and he's moving the sticks now. Baker Vision's defense slowly giving up a little bit more here.
I love the curl routes. That's always my first go-to, and then once you adjust is when I make my adjustment. But if I see space, I'm going curl routes, like right here. Why not? Oh, there you go.
The question is, did he change his arms to look like that after he became coach? That's the question.
That's a great question. As Magdub Gaming gets the read option and yet again picks up about 10 yards, coming up just a little bit short of the first down. But same play we saw earlier in this drive, and again picked up 10 yards. Baker did not have a counter to that so far.
Did you notice that right he cheated up those corners finally? He was not going to let him beat him with the curls on that play.
Yeah, but this is a great drive by saintbreessus right now. Talk about just bouncing back, controlling the clock here, down 14, needing points. Just couldn't ask for a better drive out of him. Just really composed on this one.
Yeah, coming out 2nd inches, he's going to throw the ball, and he missed him outside of Big Al's workout. And just had him out there. That's like taking a shot with the girl at the gym, and you know you shouldn't do it, but you try anyway, and they just could not, connect right there. And now maybe it was a good idea, 2nd and inches, Hottie Toddy, to take a shot, but now you come back 3rd and inches, and this is a pretty big one right here.
It is. Got to see him convert here. We've seen him pick up a 3rd down or 2 on this drive, which is good, but absolutely has to convert here to keep this drive alive.
He's coming out full on. Say he's just going to QB sneak this right up the gut. He picks up the 1st down. What do you like that? Just kind of just manhandling his way in through there.
I love it. Anytime I'm inches, unless it's 3rd or 4th, like 1st or 2nd, I'll bomb it. But if it's 3rd or 4th down in inches, I'm going QB sneak. And he was running that 3.35. So yeah, I love it.
I love it. Thank you, Franchise Gaming 88, for the follow. And here comes the pistol full house formation. There's a lot of guys around the line of scrimmage. Big Al's workout has a lot of space to the outside. He's going to rumble. He kicks it. Yeah. He's going to get all the way into the end zone for Pater. And the Oklahoma State Cowboys are on the board. The first touchdown for Saintbreessus in the G12. And this game is only a 7-point game now. John, what'd you see on the touchdown?
Yeah, I mean, just a great play call. Just nobody home there. Got great blocking, just right to the left. The offensive line took care of business, got the blocking out of the wide receivers, and there was just nobody there to touch him. And with a running back like Big Al's workout, I mean, he's going to house that every time, right? So just a great-looking drive out of Saintbreessus right there and right back in this game.
E-Migs, we saw a lot of balance from the drive. What'd you like?
I did not see that play coming. He fooled me, fooled Baker. I even mentioned it earlier. It seemed like the edge with those running back runs out to the outside have been getting shut down. So I thought it was a great play call, and it worked.
There we go, Corey.
Hottie Toddy, your thoughts?
Absolutely huge drive there for Breessus. One thing I think we see in this league is people panic when they get down big early, and he did not panic at all. Great balanced drive between run and pass, and was able to get it in the end zone, which is exactly what he needed. But now we got to see what he can do on defense. Has not been able to slow down Baker at all so far today, so we got to see a response here too.
Yeah, this will be the first time, though, Baker actually doesn't have good field position. Starting on his side of the 50, all the way back up at the 13-yard line. He's going to bounce it outside to Reaper. Reaper is just wrestling his way forward, picks up 6, even though he had the contact around the line of scrimmage. As this first quarter is eventually going to come to a close here, maybe one more play with 12 seconds left to go. But this will be the furthest that Bakervision would have the drive so far in this game. He's going to run it right off the gut this time. Reaper, that time, not as much room inside, and that will do it for the first quarter. Ladies and gentlemen, Ohio State on the road, up by 7, 14-7 against Saintbreessus. And we've already made it further than we made it in the first time we tried to play this game, John.
Absolutely. That's a positive, right? No disconnects. We made it to the first quarter. Looks like this Xbox for Saintbreessus is working like a charm. We got a good connection. Now let's roll.
Oh, a dangerous throw. It looked like Saintbreessus was in the right area, but Luke Farrell was able to come up with it. Big play there. Now here comes the Bakervision offense. They get a little bit of momentum, Hottie Toddy, and then all of a sudden they just come at you.
Absolutely he does, and that's what you'll see from Baker. When he picks up those first downs, he's going up, getting to the line quick, and keeping the drive moving.
And he's going to take a big shot over the middle. It's a huge shot. It's going to be a big chunk, 30-plus yards to Julian Fleming. And, oh, my goodness, he makes. I mean, he's just feeling confident right now.
Yeah, tell me, what state did Julian Fleming come out of?
All right, John, back to you.
Oh, that's a rip. Oh, man.
Another big play, a possible strip, not going to happen, and Luke Farrell picks up. And you know what, E-Migs, I'll give you one more chance here. He's really attacking him in the vertical passing game now, something we haven't really seen that much of in the G12.
And just like I was saying for Breessus, kind of catching him off guard, we haven't seen it much from Baker. So a lot of these user games and real-life football is just fooling them, kind of getting them into thinking you're going to go one way and then just kind of trying to fool them, I guess. I don't know. But it's working.
Yeah, he's just fooling everybody. As Reaper this time bounced the outside,
nice,
and he's going to walk into the end zone. A little bit of a stutter step on the outside, made that safety look stupid, and he scored in the exact same corner that Big Al's workout scored in momentarily. And a big answer there, Hottie Toddy.
Absolutely. I mean, and like I said, we needed to see a response on defense. I mean, Baker is just making it look so easy. Apparently, it doesn't matter where he starts on the field because he can just drive right down the field and put it in the end zone with ease. I mean, he is on pace to score a lot of points this game.
Yeah, John, where was this offense against Stoner Gamer? I feel like this is what we saw the first game, and then it disappeared. Now it's back again.
Yeah, you read my mind. That's what I was going to say. This looks a lot like his first game, and no offense, I know you're in the chat or watching Nasty, like it did against Nasty in his first game, right? I mean, it's a very similar kind of pace game. where his offense looks unstoppable. I don't know where that was at last week. I think just some unfortunate mishaps kind of happened and kind of messed with his head, but it looks like he's in full force tonight offensively for sure.
I have an idea on that. I think Breezus is making, I don't know if it's the wrong adjustments or too many adjustments on defense, but just watch where he's kind of motioning his users.
Oh, he's going to take a shot,
Oh.
baby. He's going to take a shot, and he's going to have a big game. He said, I'll have some of what Baker's having. Again, St. Breezus with that one arm sleeve just looking glorious. It's a 40-plus yard bomb. And he's on the right side of the 50, and this game is opening up faster than a hooker in a whorehouse.
I'll also just say this real quick about Baker. I mean, look at the starts. Against Natty, he got an early turnover, early stop. Today, he got an early turnover, early stop. Maybe it's just more of a mental game for Baker. When he gets the good start, he can lock in and really get moving. And when he doesn't, like he didn't against Stoner, it affects him more than it should.
Mentally, he complains. He's whining about the game screwing him, and it throws him off his game. I think you're absolutely right, Hottie Toddy. It's a good point.
Starts to affect play calling, too.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to have to find a cure for Big Al's workout because that guy is on some massive amounts of creatine right now, just rumbling and bubbling his way forward, picks up another first down. And now it seems like St. Breezus is staying ahead of the 6, but I spoke too soon. Magdo Gaming gets thrown to the ground. Werner was over there, and he said, I'll have a bratwurst as I bring you to the ground. I mean, just a big-time stop. Berlin Wall kind of stopped there on first down.
Yeah, that's it. Big Al's workout's probably just taking that creatine straight, no water, just straight powder into the mouth.
He uses it as deodorant, lets it absorb
deodorant. Exactly. It absorbs it.
2nd and 13 now. Pressure's coming. He's going to have to get rid of the football. He is. It's a shot deep. It's a dangerous throw. It's almost caught in the end zone, but it's going to come up incomplete. But, man, that was a nice little jump ball there. I wonder if he learned that one from Stoner Gamer.
It's just a yeet, right? Just throw it, yeet it, see what happens.
Yes, I didn't know that was an official verb, but it seemed like it was there. But he makes ourselves a 3rd and 13.
I didn't know that either till somebody was calling one of Stoner's games, and Kaz or somebody just kept saying "yeet it," and I was like, "I'm going to use that from now on, 100%."
I love it.
3rd and 13. He makes. What are we thinking? If you're trying to get in the field goal range, what are you trying to do here?
I think you need a touchdown, right? Maybe even try to pick up 7 or 8 yards. But nice play there, that curl route.
Man, he is killing Baker on curl routes, and nothing pisses Baker off than getting beat by curl routes. I've done that to him many times before, and I can just see his blood boiling. Like, what do you want me to do about it? But it's a big first down, big 3rd down conversion. Now he's got the ball at the 20, has a chance to cut this back to a 7-point game again.
I mean, I'll tell you what to do about it. You press the corners. If he seems to only be killing them, there he goes right there. But, just press the corners, make him beat you with something else. And
that's what he does. But now Big Al's workout is going. He didn't really follow his blockers that well, but he still picked up 4 or 5 yards. Hottie Toddy, this man is on a mission. I can't believe he's wearing all black out in this Oklahoma sun.
Yeah, he absolutely is. Just absolutely punishing him with this running back. But we haven't really seen Baker make any adjustments, committing more people up to the line. I don't know if that's something we're going to see. But I also feel like Breezus has kept him honest with the big pass that he can't really just afford to completely shut down the run game.
Oh, there's the throw to the corner. It's a dangerous throw, and it's going to be intercepted. Is he going to mark him out at the 1 or in the end zone? That's a big difference here. They're going to give him in the end zone, so it's going to be a touchback, and that is a big turn of events, John. Did he force that one to the outside there, to the wide side of the field?
Yeah, I think that's just a tough throw, right? I mean, you're from the other hash trying to throw it across the field on an out route. That's a really hard task and a really hard ask out of Macked up there, and just no chance.
And now, here comes Reaper. Reaper's has some space. Reaper's might go. He's to the 40. He's to the 30. He's to the 20, to the 10. They'll never catch him. He's in the end zone for an Ohio State touchdown. And this lead has just extended to 3 scores. And the Buckeyes are looking awfully good right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of that, Hottie just said, it's a backbreaker kind of deal, right? Like, there's still plenty of time left, but it kind of reminds me of one of those plays that we saw earlier this week. You think you got a close game. Kaz works back against our man Hardcore in the booth here, and then you see a flip. You see a quick pick 6, and then it's 14, and then it's just kind of a downhill mountain that you can't, you fall down the mountain, you can't get back up. We might have just seen that in this game out of that play right there.
E-Migs, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I'm just looking at, as John was talking, the body language out of Breezus, and like we were talking about Baker kind of getting in that mindset. I'm not too familiar with Breezus, but yeah, once I go down 14, I'm feeling like shit. So I just want Brees needs to keep his head in the game and just keep trying to figure something out.
Well, if you feel like shit when you're down 14, do you feel like you're in a toilet bowl when you're down by 21? But
Yeah,
Big Al's
flushed.
workout comes up with a big freaking game there. He's running the ball well, 7.9 yards per carry. It's something to be positive about here because we're still early in the second quarter, hotty toddy. And, this is a pretty big drive.
There is. I mean, still a lot of game left. I like that Brees is not just completely abandoning his offense, but it's really, I mean, it's his defense that worries me now. I mean, yes, that's a big hit.
Oh, my goodness gracious. He got tattooed on that one. And my goodness gracious, I mean, he needs to go check and see if he can count to 3 on the sidelines because that was a big-time hit. It's kind of surprised he didn't fumble there. I mean, that was a shellacking. 2nd and 4 now. He's going to run it smartly, hands the football off. He's still probably seeing birds. 3rd and 1 now, 3:58 remaining, and yeah, this is a big drive, guys, and it seems like, I mean, St. Breessus is moving the football, but it seems like all of the issues are coming on the other side of the field.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those, can he come up with the stops, right? That's what we talk about. First step, probably in that, as we get to the second half, is going to be to get a score, get a stop. If you can get the stop, then get the score to kind of make up some ground, but now you got a 4th and 4, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, and this seems like this might be a situation you might have to go for this one.
Man. He looks like he's punting. And Big Ian was saying he should run out the clock. I was honestly thinking he should have tried to go 2 for 1 and push the clock here.
And it looks like he is going to punt, so playing gentleman-like, but you're down by 21, and you're... Oh, he messed...
No.
That's a online thing, not being used to playing user games lag.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not sure if he tried to do that on purpose or not. Maybe get that to hit somebody. I don't know what his thought was there. But regardless, ball at the 20-yard line as if he would have kicked it back to the end zone. But now we got to see, right? Now we got to see, can John Wayne and his Cowboys saddle up and stop the war wagon, which is the Ohio State Buckeyes offense right now. And it's going to be Reaper again. Reaper's going to be able to get to the outside. Man, this guy is quick as a cat, and he's going to get himself all the way to the 45-yard line. Another 20-plus yard run for Terry and Reaper. And my goodness gracious, Toddy, right now Baker can do no wrong.
Absolutely. I mean, all the momentum on his side. You can see it in his face and the players' faces. Like, they just know that they have absolutely control right now on offense. They cannot be stopped.
Yeah, as we say, Baker's, we're getting word that St. Breessus is struggling a little bit with the lag, and that's something, E-Migs, you've played in this league, something you just have to adjust to, because sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good.
Yeah, and I mean, the best advice, I think Pirates right for the most part. I mean, you're really good with your users, so I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I just try not to switch if they're breaking anything past 5 yards, because I feel like with the lag, it's just different trying to account for the lag.
Yeah, and Ryan KG519, thanks for the follow. Hope you're having a fantastic day here. 2nd and 5, and this could be a dangerous throw, but he's going to find someone over the middle, and just great poise there by Drew Lock finds Bonesy for 20 yards over the middle, and that just seemed like a broken down play, and Baker still found some way to make it happen, Hotty Toddy.
I mean, absolutely. And we see him going right back to the no huddle, like all gas, no brakes right now. Like, this is unreal. I mean, that's such a dangerous throw, and so often you feel like those late throws over the middle get picked off. But right now, he just can't do anything wrong. Well, that play wasn't great, but...
Now,
this
John,
is something...
Oh, go ahead.
I've noticed something with Baker, though, too. Like, I feel like he should have killed this clock. If he scores here, goes in 31-7 or 35-7, that's kind of... It's just really hard to come back from. But he doesn't seem to be aggressive with that clock, which I would like him to be.
Yeah, and he gets the ball to start the second half, people, so don't forget that. If he goes up 35-7 and gets the ball, that's not looking very friendly. John, I want to ask you about this hurry-up huddle, because sometimes it's great, but sometimes you lose some of your best players and they're always rushing, and the fatigue becomes a factor. But Baker doesn't seem to be too worried about that, and he just seems that he can wear out the other defense before his guys get tired. Or he has really good guys behind him, and that doesn't seem to bother him.
This Ohio State team is just so dominant. It's so hard to stop Justin.
3rd and 10 now.
Baker is
And that was a little bit of a dangerous throw actually over the middle. He was able to complete it, but this is a big one right here. Baker's 2 for 2 on 3rd down. 3rd and 10 was the longest conversion he would have today if he could pick it up. 1:35 on the clock. Is he going to let this one milk all the way down? It looks like he's going to. No, he's not. He's going to throw it.
There we go.
He's back to pass, and he's going to take a big old sack. Yum, 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 yum. I hope Ohio State brought their sack lunch, because that's exactly what happened there. Now St. Breessus is going to use a timeout, and now it looks like Baker, that sack is going to take him out of field goal range, and E-Migs, you're shaking your head at me.
Not you, just at Baker and the clock management. He called a time. I don't know why he called a timeout. He had 2 minutes left, so there's no reason to be worried about you running out of time. I just didn't understand the clock management. I would have
That's a good point.
punted with 5 seconds left and felt fine. You know what I mean? I just he could've
Yeah, I
killed
mean,
it.
I think Hottie Todd, he could have ran that ball and just kicked the field goal with like a minute left at the very worst. And the one thing you don't want to do, John, is take a sack in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Emigs. It's kind of like the clock management gameplay kind of lost it there on me. I'm not too sure what he's thinking. I just know I kind of jumped into Breezes here. He is awful quiet in his chat. Like,
but he found St. Breezes.
He might get
Breezes
excited
has been the
after
one
that
bright spot all game long.
And if he scores here, I mean, obviously it's on Baker, but this could be in halftime right now. He could be in the locker room. So.
Yeah, and you know what? This is the one mistake Baker's really had. That's it, the entire game so far. It's been all Baker. But this is something that when we play against users, sometimes he's come back to haunt them, as this one was almost picked off. Probably should have been picked off by Cameron Brown, I believe. Fell incomplete. But besides these last 2 minutes, Ohio State Buckeyes have rolled so far, Hottie Toddy.
They absolutely have. I mean, and even if he can stop Breezes from scoring here, obviously, like, and still take a 28-7 lead, like, that's absolutely huge. But if Breezes does score here, that makes it a little bit of a different game going into the second half for sure.
Yeah, even though that Baker will get the ball to start the second half here. Mac Dub's going to throw a quick one, and it's going to be incomplete. Looked like it might have been trying to go to the curl route again. It's been his favorite passing pattern so far in this game. And now he sees himself with a 3rd and 10. I do want to say shout out to It's Phenom. It's a Phenom for the follow. We appreciate you being here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome on into the G12. 3rd and 10, Emig. What are we thinking?
Again, like I kind of said that last drive, this is 4-down territory, down 21 here, a minute left. So if you just need to go for a little dump off 5-6 yards to set up your 4th down conversion, I would do that.
Yeah, he has a chance to make it a 14-point game if he scores here. He's going to take a shot, and it's just bad accuracy. Magdub Gaming just hasn't really found the accuracy so far in this one. 2 picks and a big miss there on 3rd and 10. Yeah, John, it's been a little bit of a disappointment for Magdub Gaming so far.
Yeah, he's looked, other than those couple of shots, but, I know that Breezes is frustrated with that and he's got to be, right. It's tough when you're getting guys wide open and complete, but there he throws a dot. So I don't know.
On 4th and 10, no less, finds Tay Martin on the right side. It looked like he just had them stuck in a coverage that he liked. Had a couple of streaks coming down the right side of the field. The safety couldn't choose both of them, and was able to pick up a huge 1st down. Kind of keeps the hopes alive. And Hottie Toddy, it feels wrong that we're talking about keeping the dreams alive here in the second quarter, but that's kind of how it feels right now.
Absolutely. I mean, Breezes has just not had much going right for him here, so we have to see a response here to stay alive in this game.
Yeah, that one was dropped faster than a syrupy waffle onto the diner floor. 2nd and 10, 53 seconds to go. And, man, I mean, St. Breeze is already having to throw the ball a lot in this game with a quarterback that hasn't really been that effective, Emix.
The other thing that's worrying me, too, is it seems like it's 2 play. It's either a streak or a curl. So I feel like he needs to start mixing it up. I don't know if that's some of that. There's
a curl route yet again. St. Breezes again.
Curl.
He might have to take off that other sleeve the way he's been catching the footballs over there. Another big time game. Maybe everyone needs to go to just one sleeve on his team. Maybe they'd play a little bit better. 48 seconds. He's got 2 timeouts. I assume we're not going to try to see a 2-for-1 here, right? He's just going to try to milk this, get a touchdown, go to half, right, boys?
I hope.
43 seconds. He's going to run it. Big Al's workout has a big seam, and he's in the end zone, and that's the touchdown. And, John, you almost don't look happy over there. You worried that he scored too quickly.
Well, yeah, that's one thing, right? I think both of these guys aren't thinking about the fall. I don't blame them for that, right? I'm thinking he's more worried about getting the points, but I think it's kind of it's a big touchdown for him, but now you're giving Baker 2 timeouts with 41 seconds, and you haven't been able to really do too much on defense. So, and you give that. I also, like Emix was saying earlier, that kind of is on Baker giving up that touchdown right there and not draining more of that clock when he had it past the 50.
Well, we haven't seen Baker's best so far. It's another not-so-good kick, so he's going to get the ball in great field position. We haven't seen Baker's best in the last 2 minutes. Otherwise, he's played flawlessly, but these last 2 minutes have not been his best. Maybe a potential chance that he maybe throws a pick here, Hottie Toddy, or maybe does something he shouldn't do, a fumble with his quarterback, Drew Lock, or do you think he goes down here and cleans up business?
I don't think he's gonna throw a pick. I think he'll be safer than that. But
It's
I
rolling.
did see.
Of course.
Man, he's just so hard in space to stop. And he doesn't slide, though. He takes the tackle, and he's able to pick up 30 yards, and he's already pretty much in field goal range. I'll let you keep going, Hotty Toddy.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, I saw some visible frustration from Breessus on that kick, the kickoff. So this is going to be interesting to see if this game does come down to a field goal or a kick, how that affects Breessus.
And
Very
and we're
frustrating.
starting to see what Pirate loves out of Baker. I mean, we're seeing the roll to the right and throw it. And that one almost cost him there. They copped up the ball, and it was almost intercepted. And actually, Drew Lock a little bit slow to get up that time. 2nd and 10 now, 25 seconds to go. He's going to drop back to pass again. Empty pocket. He's going to throw a strike to his running back, Reaper. Maybe just try to get in field goal range here. 19 seconds and ticking. He's holding on to that one timeout. And he used one there. 18 seconds left, John. What are you thinking?
I would do the same shit.
Yeah,
Sanders just-
I'm thinking just a safe play here. You've got the timeout in your pocket. You can use the middle of the field, get in field goal range for sure field goal and kick it.
And he's going to roll to the right. He's got a little bit of space.
Wide
Now he's got
open.
someone wide open,
Wow.
and he had to dive. It's a big gain to Luke Farrell, and he's going to be inside the 5, but no touchdown there. So he's going to have to go hurry up huddle here. Only one timeout, 13 seconds. He's 1st and goal, so he can't get any more first downs. What's he going to do? He's going to run it. It's going to be a run to Reaper, and Reaper has no space. 10 seconds ago. He's going to use a timeout now with 9 seconds left on the clock. 2nd and goal. E-Migs, what are we thinking? Just 2 shots to the end zone, kick a field goal?
Yeah, you don't want to make any mistakes. Maybe I might be. I don't know. I was gonna say maybe keep it on the ground, but 9 seconds, not enough time to maybe get to the line and spike it. So I don't know. Just don't be
Just
stupid
quick
like that.
Fuck you.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how that was caught. I don't know how it wasn't intercepted. I don't know how he landed. But somehow, some way, that was a touchdown for Bonesy. And I don't want to say it was a dagger, but that one went pretty damn close to St. Breessus' heart there. I mean, it should have been picked off. Somehow he was flipped. I've seen the replay 3 times now.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm still not sure exactly what the hell just happened. John, I'll let you go first to try to explain that.
I have no clue. More than any of you guys do. It was a good slant route, and it looked like a weird animation where the cornerback supposedly hit him, but he didn't actually hit him. He just kind of dove weird.
Awful.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, St. Breessus is overly frustrated in his chat.
Yeah, Hotty Toddy. I mean, we saw Baker usually end up on the wrong side of things sometimes. As he, right here, Hotty Toddy, or excuse me, St. Breessus might have a chance to score before the half on a Hail Mary, getting about the 45. Hotty Toddy, though, Baker using on the wrong side of things on the right side this time.
Well, I was just about to say, and I was going to have to give Baker a really hard time because against Natty, we saw Baker in the exact same position, had the ball at the goal line with like 4 seconds left, and he ran the ball with no timeouts and didn't get into the end zone with a chance to really like put the game away. So I am glad to see him go to the pass, get the touchdown. Craziest catch I think I've ever seen. For him to be able to get that, and yeah, he definitely caught a break, no doubt about that.
Yeah, and unfortunately now, guys, this comes to the point in the show where you have to see our faces for a little bit. So we do apologize for that. E-Migs, I want to give it to you there because I felt like you could talk a little bit about how that last minute played out as far as clock management goes. And are you impressed with Baker Vision? You think he's growing, or are you pretty pissed at him?
I mean, well, first of all, the clock management. You said one. I think at 2 minutes left is when we started talking about it. 21 points just got scored in like the last 2 minutes, so that's on Baker. I mean, I guess he scored 14 of them, so oh well. But yeah, I am a little surprised. I get really. I don't know if you call it aggressive or conservative with the clock. Like at 3 minutes, I want to kill that clock and go into halftime, and just to limit your possessions, especially the way Breessus can't stop Baker. But I mean, he's going to have to figure out a way to stop him in this second half because Baker's rolling on offense.
Yeah, John, 35-14 right now. Obviously, that last score is going to weigh heavily on St. Breessus and his chat. I don't think they probably even thought yet that Baker gets the ball to start the second half. I mean, we know kind of the hole that we're in, how does
It's
St.
not
Breessus even get on the right
registering.
foot? As we're going to see another crappy kick here. Again, I'm not sure what is happening. I don't even know if that's a lag thing at this point. I don't know if it's a controller thing, but I mean, this is going to be a good return. He's going to go right down the sideline all the way to the 30, break a tackle, and he's going to get the ball to the 25-yard line, John. This is probably not the first step to dig yourself out of the hole.
No, right. I think it's just a lack of playing online. It says please reconnect controller. He's having all sorts of controller connectivity issues. He's having not getting used to playing online to kick it. I think there's just a lot going wrong at this point for St. Breessus. It's going to be near impossible to dig out of the hole that he's in.
And there goes Locke for 9 more. And maybe, Emacs, can you talk a little bit more about that just experience playing online, playing in front of 100 people now that we usually have on these streams?
I mean, it's nerve-wracking. It's just, like, I remember my first game, I practiced 3 times against the CPU, and it was a CPU game. It wasn't a user game. And it's just, every little thing feels magnified. Wow, what a run here by Reaper, almost getting in. It's just nerve-wracking. And then everything's different, like I said. Like, the player movement's different, the way they respond is different, the way you throw is different. So it's just, everything's magnified and feels like it's, your mistakes feel 100 times bigger.
Yeah, I think, and that was a touchdown right there by Drew Locke. Just kind of running that one in and kind of just leaving the foot on the gas here. 42-14, he opens it up to a even larger lead to open the second half. Hotty Toddy, how are we feeling right now?
Oklahoma State's offensive
I mean,
one amazing
I don't even know what to say anymore because it's just like if it can go wrong, it is going wrong for Breessus right now, which is a crappy place to be for sure. The bad kickoff there and immediate touchdown for Baker. It's not looking good for Breessus, that's for sure. But Hardcore, I want to flip this back on you here for a second. I realize that you're normally in the position of Baker where you just beat down all your opponents ruthlessly. But as a player that, consider yourself pretty good at this game, I mean, what are you doing in this situation? I mean, what can you do in this situation if winning is out the window, which it probably is? I mean, what are you doing to finish out this game?
Let's go ahead and make that adjustment.
It's a great question. When I played You Should Have Tapped, I mean, I think I was down by probably a little bit, maybe it was 42-20 or something like that, but I was down by a bunch. So I just, I keep playing as if I'm going to have a chance to win. I mean, at a certain point, if it was a fourth quarter and I'm down 42-14, I'm probably taking out my starters. Because this is a season, guys. This isn't just one game. This isn't a tournament. This is a season. This is a dynasty. The worst case scenario right now, especially the way it's gone for St. Breessus, where everything has gone wrong, like you just mentioned, I don't want anyone else getting hurt. If this game is bad, I don't want that to compound into making the next couple weeks bad. This is one game you can kind of bury it against a really good Ohio State and Baker. Just move on from it and just kind of get out of here. Maybe develop a little bit of what you want to do offensively moving forward, and go from there. But you got to be really careful about just rolling out and throwing 4 verts every play and wearing out your offense, because that's when injuries potentially could happen.
I absolutely agree with that. I'm probably taking this drive right here, which now we're about to see a 4th down. I'm going to give it one last shot on this drive, which it looks like he is going to go. See if he can score. But yeah, if you don't score here, I'm packing up the starters, saying go get on the bus. We're running backups the rest of the game, and we're running chew clock and just getting out of here and making it not bad.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever put chew clock on because I would just piss myself off. But, I mean, he scores here. It's a 21-point game with a lot of time left in the third quarter. So he has got a chance. I mean, it's not over. And as great as Baker's played so far, I always can usually expect 1 or 2 mistakes from the user. I'm going to have 1 or 2 mistakes, and the other user's going to have 1 or 2 mistakes. If he can capitalize on a big way here, this game is not 100% over yet. He just needs a couple more things to go his way, or how about something just not go Baker's way so far? John, what do you think of what I just said?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree, and I couldn't say it any better than Hotty Toddy. You take this possession, if you can keep it 21, you keep pushing. If not, it's probably over, but just run your offense here. Plenty of time left, and just keep playing as if it's 0-0, right? And that's kind of how you have to think of it at this point, because you just have to try to get points and then figure out how to stop Baker at this point.
Yeah, E-Migs, would you like to add on to that?
I mean, kind of going off what both you guys are saying, Hardcore, I like what you said about him trying to figure some stuff out. Also, maybe just try to get used to playing online. Almost intercepted. But at the same time, like what John said, play it like it's a 0-0 game, run your offense, see what can happen. But 28, 5 minutes left. I would just try to run the offense and get used to playing online, honestly.
Yeah, and I have to admit, like playing online, especially if you don't know how good the connection is going to be, because it always varies a little bit. But I mean, I go into games, and as soon as I figure out how bad the connection is going to be, that does kind of dictate, how I'm going to run things. As that's a dangerous throw over the middle. It's caught on the cover too, but the linebacker was right there. He caught it over the top. See, some things are starting to go Breessus' way a little bit there. Dropped interception a second ago by Baker. Now a tight window throw there by St. Breessus, and he got himself over onto the right side of the 50. But yeah, I mean, it's just, you got to figure out, you got to get comfortable with it, because just throwing the football and all the timing, it all changes when you go online. And I think people sometimes underestimate that, especially our viewers, our lovely, lovely viewers, because playing against a computer is nothing like playing a user for a lot of different reasons, including, of course, the lag and connectivity.
Yeah, just use it. All of us are offline. We all use our defense. We're playing that safety or a linebacker, and we're picking off passes. It's a whole different ball game when you're playing online, having to get used to just the choppiness and the lag, like trying to play defense.
Here's a throw, and it's almost intercepted, knocked away again. It looked like the corner was trailing the other defender, was able to kind of just stay on him over there, and come up with a good incompletion, good knockaway deflection, if you will. 3rd and 10 from the 47-yard line. And this is a big one for pretty much every third down moving forward for St. Breessus is going to be a big one. But he's got to get them one at a time, John.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just kind of how to think of it, right? It's just one play at a time, one third down at a time as it comes up, and just take those steps to try to do that. No panic at this point. Just no more mistakes, no more slip-ups.
He's going to throw it, and that one's going to be picked off. He tried to get it on the slant on the zone. It just really wasn't there, and he kind of forced it in there. And that's going to be an interception. And hotty toddy, as you just mentioned, drive wasn't successful. As we got to pause right here. Maybe the starters are coming out for Baker. And this is something I'm going to tell you right now, because I was upset about this in my last game. I think this is something that the streamers, if they're listening, and hopefully everyone else understands too, if Baker wants to take out his guys, I think we've got to be a little bit better with giving the other guy a chance to do so, because you can't mass subs on online user versus user games. And so if he wants to take out, Drew Lock, if he wants to take out Reaper, give him a second to do so, because nothing frustrates me more when I'm trying to take out my players and trying to be sportsmanlike, and I don't have 30 seconds to do so. That really pisses me off. So we can do a better job of, if the game is paused, it's probably paused for a good reason. As we see the running back, it is the backup. So that's exactly what bakervision was doing there. Teague is going to get the carry there for about 8 yards.
Yeah, and I think that's just smart to limit Reaper's number of runs. And that his very first game, the G12, everybody gave him crap for not taking what then was Trey Sermon or Reaper and putting in Teague. And now you kind of see he's not making those kind of mistakes anymore.
Yeah, and I want to, Biggie said online running no huddle can cause problems with the game setter. But Baker does this against everybody. Here's the thing. That's just how it is. He runs no huddle against everybody. So I hate to say, it's just something you're going to have to get used to, whether it gets choppy or not. This is the G12 league. This is literally 11 user games, and it's not going to necessarily get easier as far as connectivity. It might get better. I've obviously played guys that have better connectivity than some people, but it's not going to necessarily get any easier.
Yeah, I think, it's just everybody runs no huddle like that you see that utilizes this online game. It's a pretty popular thing, especially if you can run the ball successfully. It's just something you can take advantage of in this game, and it's something you just have to get used to.
Yeah, and looks like
some people aren't used to it, and they have to get used to it.
Yeah, exactly, and it looks like Baker's kind of taking his foot off the gas a little bit here, kind of running the ball, still running with Drew Lock in the game, which is a little bit surprising. He took out Reaper, but left Lock in, and Lock has really been dynamic in open field. You surprised Lock still in at this point?
I am. Yeah, we've already seen Breessus' quarterback take some big hits. I think this game's well out of hand. Hopefully, he takes him out at least by the third. I don't know why you would take out Reaper, but not Lock.
Right, as Teague picks up another 9 yards here, and This one seems like it's kind of going to be a quicker ending than the first half took, that's for sure. There's only 1:35 left now, hotty toddy, in the third quarter, and it kind of seems like both teams are willing to let this one kind of just go into the fourth quarter as a 42-14 game.
I mean, I think so too. I think both people know the outcome of the game right now. No, it's not changing. And yeah, I mean, it's tough. Well, welcome to the G12 is all I can really say to Breezus. I think you guys are right. It's not going to get any easier for him moving forward. I think he will probably get more used to it. And so hopefully we'll see a improvement in his play, but tough first game for him for sure.
I mean, I know it's not close, but you can tell Breezus isn't bad at this game. You know what I mean? Baker also is no slouch. He made it to the national championship last year.
Yeah, it's not an easy first out for saintbreessus by any stretch of the imagination. Baker's played a lot of, NCAA football, obviously, but he's played a lot of online games compared to. I mean, guys, got to realize here the OG members in the G12 are very little left in the league now. I mean, we only have Baker and I, Yofi, Dees, Chuckleberry. Is that it?
Yeah. Who are we forgetting? No.
If you don't count Stoner, you know what I mean, for that first.
Yeah, which I wouldn't, because Stoner's really only played a couple games.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah, so I mean, you're talking half the league is fresher faces, and Baker therefore has basically more experience than at least 50% of the league. As we and Rocky might be an exception because he plays a lot of online users. But my point, he's played a lot of freaking user games as he scores another one here to extend the lead, 49-14 as we get the fourth quarter underway here. And I don't want to necessarily distract from this game, John. But maybe kind of I know we're going to talk about the next upcoming week after the game, but maybe kind of start recapping what we saw in this week. What did you maybe learn from this week as we kind of say goodbye to it?
Yeah, I think obviously nothing's changed with who is the top guy in the league. Not to toot your horn too much. I hate to do that, but, I think we continue to see it kind of work out. Yofi struggle, which I think is a little bit of a surprise for us as we look to see if he can kind of bounce back from a little bit of an underwhelming performance.
I mean, this is Ohio State versus Oklahoma.
I'm looking forward to seeing some of these other guys play again that have been off for a little bit, that didn't get to play this week. It's always kind of weird when everybody has those bye weeks and you kind of almost forget about them a little bit. So, yeah, I think it was a good week. And we didn't learn too much, but I think it was another solid week for sure.
Yeah, and before we get to Hotty Toddy, I just want to get a PSA out there. If you are, and that was almost intercepted right there a second ago, but if you are if you're Xbox gamertag friends with Krug on Xbox, I just got word that MacDub's gamertag has been hacked. So if you get anything weird from Krug44, whatever it is, just ignore that. A little PSA there. Hotty Toddy, what are your kind of thoughts as we wrap up this week?
Once again, I think it was a good week of G12 content. I think we had some pretty good games this week, which is always good. It's always nice. This was not one of them. As we see Baker leave the screen there for a second. But I think my biggest takeaway from this game tonight is not so much Breezus' offense. I think Breezus' offense is not that bad. It's really his defense, in my opinion, that is going to need the most work and the most adjustment because he hasn't stopped Baker at all. Like, there was that one punt, with a little bit of time left in the first half, and that was it. Like, he has not made any stops on defense, so I think that's probably where he needs to work the most.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And that's something actually that bakervision struggled with for quite a bit just when he was starting to play more games. We flashed back a year ago. Was he going to be able to play good enough defense because we knew his offense was there. And to be credit to saintbreessus, he's going up against an already stacked offense in Ohio State. On top of that, bakervision is really good with this Ohio State offense. So, I mean, it was a tough opponent for saintbreessus that hasn't played a lot of user games to have to go up against probably one of the best offenses in the league. Emacs, what are your thoughts as we finish this week?
Again, I'm piggybacking off of John. My biggest takeaway is Yofi. I picked him early season to be my number 2, to be the challenger to hardcore. And it hasn't looked like that so far. And on the flip side, I think, not that I thought Thrizzy was bad, but I think Thrizzy looks really, really good. those 2 games he lost, like someone mentioned earlier, could have easily been wins. So I think Thrizzy's definitely not shocked me again. Just I'm impressed with how Thrizzy's played.
Well, let's ignore hardcore CFB for a second. Just say hardcore CFB is not in it because I don't want to make the question easy for you guys. Although if you don't have me as your top one, I won't be offended by you. But what's your power rankings right now? Give me your top 3 players, John, not including me, I suppose.
Not including you. So excluding you, off the top of my head, if you're going to do this to me, and this kind of is tough just because I have a lot like Saintbreessus, I have no clue how Uncle Sam's is going to do in these user versus user games. I don't know. I know he plays this game a lot, but so does Breezes. Like we're talking about, like that doesn't mean a whole lot, right? Like, so just who I've seen and off the top of my head, man, I've got to go after you. I would probably go Thrizzy. I would probably say Stoner at this point, just because or Baker. I'd probably go Baker next. And well, no, I've got to put him first. So I would go Thrizzy, Stoner, and then probably Baker.
But Stoner beat Thrizzy, so shouldn't you have Stoner number 2?
I guess so, right? Like I forgot about that. Did Stoner beat Thrizzy?
Yeah.
I think what this means is it's like after hardcore,
it's a really mush.
It's like a toss-up. Yeah.
It's messy.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that. Yeah, I guess right now, I mean, honestly, take away that Yofi game for Stoner, and a lot of it does have to do with a little bit of being fortunate in some of those games. But I mean, he's won, right? So yeah, I guess
Stoner's beat Baker and Thrizzy, and I think we can all agree. Obviously, Kaz, Cray, Nass, they're all good players. We're not trying to turn anyone down, but based on what we've seen so far in the records and who's beat who, I mean, Stoner's beat Baker and Thrizzy, and I would assume that we would probably have Thrizzy and Baker in the upper echelon of the power rankings.
Yeah, and so I've got to go Stoner too, right? I think the chat we just picked, Thrizzy probably has the best shot to beat hardcore, but the way things are going right now, that could very easily be Stoner, right? And like I said, like I didn't pick Stoner to win a game, so I'm going to continue to eat crow as the season goes on, just because he's looked so much better defensively than I think we were expecting him to look. And a lot of that has to do with he has the luxury of having that Clemson defense. But the simple fact is he's made the plays on defense that he's needed to. And he frustrated this Ohio State offense last week like nobody else has, right? Not even our man Hardcore here was able to completely shut down Baker in that national championship game last year. So, he made a run in that second half to keep it close. Man, Stoner didn't give up hardly anything last week to him.
Yeah, and again, he has the second best team behind this Ohio State team too. So, I mean, he's got a good team, and as we've seen, he's got the ability to play good offense, and he's got the ability to come back in games like he did against Thursday. Hotty Toddy, we'll let you kind of talk because I feel like you hadn't got a complete say yet.
Well, I'm actually okay with that because I'm not sure I have an answer, but I'm going to say this. I think confident Baker, which is the Baker we've seen tonight, and the Baker we saw against Nasty Natty, is the second best player in this league. I will stand by that statement. But when we see Baker get frustrated, I think it goes downhill in a hurry. So I really kind of think that, Baker, Thrizzy, and Stoner are probably that, I guess, like right behind Hardcore. Well, maybe not right behind, but that next group behind Hardcore. And then I think really after that, I think Kaz Cray is good. And he's probably creeping into that group. I know he's had some tough games, but I think after that, it's like really just a crapshoot for the rest of the power rankings. I think, and I really think other than maybe Hardcore, anyone can beat anyone in this week. I do tend to think that maybe last week's game, Baker's was just, it was a bad game, and I'm not sure we'll see that again, but if he does get frustrated, I wouldn't be surprised.
I was really hoping I wouldn't get 50.
Emig's going to add to that?
Yeah, I guess both guys kind of covered. Hotty Toddy touched on Kaz. I would say my top 3 would be Kaz, Baker, and Thrizzy in no order. Maybe Thrizzy top out of there, but I really like what I've seen from Kaz, and I don't want to take anything away from Stoner. I don't love what I've seen. I do think a lot of what his success is because of Clemson and how good that team is. And we've seen a few lucky breaks. That Baker game was obviously there's a lot of dropped interceptions. I just don't like how it seems very lucky the way Stoner's producing. It's a lot of rollouts and just bombing it, and he's getting lucky with dropped
Oh,
interceptions.
shut up.
But he's played awesome on defense, though. I'm not taking that away.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, as we get a kneel down here, we're gonna see the end of this one. It looks like Nasty might have a question here. John, do you have anything to add real quick? I think you might have something quick to say there.
No. I mean, like I said, it kind of gets weird because then you think about somebody like Dees, who's just a bad game away, and then taking 2 bye weeks. So like, how?
Yeah, I was
Dees
gonna. My next question is
back?
Dees.
And things like that. Like, you don't know. Like, he's he has a bad game, right? Like, kind of like Baker had a bad game last week. So how is he going to bounce back this week? And we kind of, that's what I was talking about. These guys have these bye weeks, and we kind of forget. Oh yeah, Dees is in the league. You know what I mean? Like, because he hasn't played the last couple of weeks. So how will those guys kind of jump back into it? Nasty Natty has looked good at times, and just had a couple of tough losses. He's still trying to figure it out offensively, I think, in some cases. So yeah,
I think what Natty's getting at here is he's just trying to figure out. I think maybe the question I don't get here is he's trying to see, does it have a pool what team he has? We're not talking necessarily best user players. I don't think that's the question we're debating. We're debating as a whole, right? Full picture, like the team you have and how good of a user skill you are. What are the rankings at? So this includes, skill plus the team you have. Like someone like Nasty, for example, at least on offense, it seems like he just doesn't have the horses sometimes compared to a Baker. As we get our beautiful faces up here again. But if you give a Nasty an offense in an Ohio State team, like all of a sudden, that would probably boost you up the rankings, for example, just the way it is.
Flip side hardcore, and I'm not trying to be a dick, but give Stoner Missouri, and I don't think he's pulling off this season that we've seen.
Yeah,
no, but I mean, here's the deal, guys. Like, they could have picked anybody in the country, right? Like,
right.
It's not limited to who you picked. So you picked that team. You know what I mean? Like,
actually,
somebody didn't have Ohio State.
Stoner didn't. Stoner inherited Clemson.
Stoner didn't pick like Utah, like his favorite team or whatever it is. So he said, "Hey, Clemson's available. I'm gonna take Clemson." So Oklahoma was available, Alabama's available, Georgia's available.
John, I'm gonna cut you off here. We do have the winning head coach in the chat now. Bakervision dominating performance today. It looked like the Breezes Gate was not effective. You were able to get the win today convincingly. How does it feel?
Can you guys?
We kind of did.
You're in and out.
Hang on 1 second.
You sounded great there.
You can hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, the win felt good. I knew I had talked to Breezes a little bit, and I don't think he's quite used to like all that goes into an online match with like the lag and the kicking and user controlling players and stuff is a little bit different. So I think to his credit, I think he really did play a good game. And once he understands some of those things, I think his team is very competitive. He's got a hell of a wide receiver and running back combination there. So I'm happy to come away with a win. I've played with my team in online matches more than he has. So I'm happy with the outcome. And I think it was a good game. I mean, that's about it.
All right, since we have 3 guys in the booth here, we're all going to take turns. I'm going to start with John, then go to Toddy, and then go to E-Migs. John, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, Baker, just talk about this game compared to last week's. Not to keep on last week's, but how much different you feel this week. It felt like you kind of got back into your first game on offense where it was almost an unstoppable kind of thing. Walk us through those kind of difference of how you feel coming out of this game this week.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten a chance to elaborate or go into detail on the Stoner Gamer game. I don't want to take anything away from Stoner. He whooped me. I mean, his team's good, and he's a much improved player than I think we've seen in the prior G12 showing he had. I don't want to harp on NCAA glitches or being NCAA'd, but I had some issues with that game is all I'm going to say about it. And in the rain, on the road, against a top 10 opponent, I mean, that's a tough game. And was it a 1-score game or a 2-possession game? I mean, it was close. I'm not too upset about the loss. On paper, I think I would have liked to have gotten the win or saw that as a win heading into the year, but he's a better player. And then to bring that into tonight, I mean, Stoner took an early lead on me, and he kind of changed my game plan a little bit. Took me out of running the ball as much as I typically do. And then tonight I was able to stick to my game plan, run the ball. Didn't need to pass as much, and then got a couple turnovers, even though my dropped interceptions counter keeps climbing.
All right, Toddy, we'll go to you.
Well, Baker, my question my question actually has to kind of do with what you were just talking about. We were kind of talking throughout the game that there is what we feel is like a big mental aspect of the game with you. You know, we've seen again your game against Natty, and tonight you get the early lead. You just seem to be locked more in, or when you do catch some of those bad breaks, you seem to get a little more frustrated. So how do you balance that moving forward? I mean, you still have a lot of games left to play. You know, if you do happen to get down early in a game, how do you overcome that if that happens again?
I've been down early several times in these games. I mean, last year in the championship game, Hardcore was out to a big lead, and you know, you just got to regroup. Halftime was a good opportunity to kind of regroup and start getting back to a game plan. But I don't know that I did that in the Stoner Gamer game. I was still, trying to get anything that worked at that point in time. That was just a bad game. Chalk it up to a loss and move on to next week, which was this week. And now we've got a nice win. So now we'll move on to next week, which I think is D's. Yep. I think I got D's diabetes next. So he's not going to be an easy matchup. I can promise you that. He's been sitting idle after a loss, so he's going to be gunning. He's going to be I'm sure he's chomping at the bit. So I'm looking forward to that one too.
He makes to you, my friend.
Yeah, Coach, congrats on a big, impressive win. For me, though, through these games, obviously last week wasn't the outcome you wanted, but I've been really impressed with your defense. You had 4 turnovers today, and then against Nasty, you looked really good on defense too early. I know you're still running that 3-3-5, I think, from last year, but are you switching it up at all on defense? Are you running different users, or are you doing different audibles?
Audibles a little bit, not too much. You guys know before the G12 even started in my offline dynasties, I didn't even play defense, so I'm not the most skilled defensive player. I take the Pirate Ike philosophy on defense, and but I will say that last year I used a lot more 4-2-5, and this year the 3-3-5 has been working a little better. But then tonight especially, I was going into different packages and not always doing coach's pick, which is what I kind of defaulted to last year, and kind of trying to adjust to what I thought saintbreessus was going to do. His wide receiver still crushed me. I got to figure that out a little bit, but at a certain point I was just taking the user out there because it was so blatantly obvious that was where he was going with it, and trying to defend it. Not that I did, but I am making some progress, I think, on defense.
Yeah, it seemed like he was killing you on 2 plays, honestly. It was curls and streaks on that side, and that was it.
Yeah, I think I don't disagree with you there, but he was beating me with that play, but I think he's, as a user in the league, is going to have to figure out something different, because there's other users that are much more skilled on defense, and they're going to take that away in the first quarter, So it worked against me. I was thankful to come away with the win with that working against me. I'll see what the other users do to stop it, and then I'll add that to my coach's playbook moving forward.
It's a chess match.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of. I was telling that to John actually not too that long ago, but we've seen a little bit more copycatting this year than last year per se. I'm gonna let you go because we still have to break down this upcoming week. Okay. Very good win, Baker. Go get prepared for D's. We appreciate you taking some time to talk to us.
Easy. We'll see you throughout the week. Later.
All right, see you, man. All righty, that was head coach Baker Vision. We're gonna jump right into it. Are we week 6? Yeah, I think we're week 6.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
And right off the bat here, we are going to talk about a guy who just played in this game. Can he rebound against a guy who's looking to get his first win? You got Rocky Top Gaming, 0-2 now with that loss to Thrizzy. And, of course, saintbreessus, who has that win over Thrizzy technically, but still looking for his first true personal win. John, we'll go to you first.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about this the last couple of weeks, and then I saw Rocky – I guess it was last night or Friday night maybe. I just feel like his confidence is way down. I don't know what's going on with that, and I don't see that really improving by tomorrow night. But, how does saintbreessus bounce back? And here we have this kind of weird thing. I like Rocky in this game, to be honest, after we saw what we saw tonight. I think Saintbreessus to play this game, then jump right back into it this week. To have a user game, how much is he going to be able to play in between now and then to get some user experience? Probably not too much. I like Rocky to bounce back here and get his first win, and that's more of just the lack of Saintbreessus having the time to figure out what he's going to do in this kind of user setting after tonight.
Hotty Toddy, what you got?
This will be a very, very interesting game, because both of them coming off pretty tough losses, and especially for Breedis, to really just have to almost turn right back around and play again immediately. I don't know. What I really want to see still, though, is more out of the defenses from these teams rather than the offenses. I agree. I don't know. We saw Rocky kind of come into the league last year with fire, and I don't know. I agree. I kind of think we've lost that a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see how he responds tomorrow night against Breedis.
I
think this is an easy matchup.
Yeah, real quick. That game is Wednesday at 8:30 Central. So not.
Yeah.
I know the first one we're
night.
Showing, but that won't be until Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Emig's actually, and John, you're calling this one. Emig's, what are you thinking of this game?
I picked Rocky Top to really run this league preseason. I still think he's a really top-notch player. I'm taking Rocky Top. I think he had one of the tougher schedules to start this season, 3 straight buys and then hardcore and then Thrizzy, which in week 6 now I think are 2 of the best players. So he looked good against Thrizzy, didn't look so good against you, but I think he's going to figure things out this week against Breezes.
Yeah, and we'll move on to the next game, but I will say it almost feels like Rocky Top is kind of in a must-win situation. Got to get some confidence there. Speaking of someone we haven't seen for a while, Chuckleberry, my boy Chuck, 0-2 right now. Hasn't played for quite a bit of time as well. Played, I believe, against Thrizzy and Kazcray, but hasn't played for a while. Going up against Yofi, who we've seen Yofi let people kind of hang around for a while. This game will be Monday at 7 Central. Uncle Sam Reject, the newest member of the G12, will be on the call with Nasty Natty Gaming. Emix, let's start with you.
Yeah, like I said, we've seen Yofi struggle through his game so far. We saw him struggle last week against Fantasy. I'm going to take Yofi again this week. I mean, some of that, too, is just based on Missouri's talent against Notre Dame. But I still think Yofi's a pretty good player, and he's going to pull it. He's going to win.
Hotty Toddy?
Yeah, I'm going to take Yofi, too. But I want to pick Chuck so bad. I do. And I think it'll be a really, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm picking Chuck. I think Chuck pulls off the upset. Big upset this week from Chuckleberry.
And no need to even elaborate. Let's go right to John.
I love how he just talked himself into that upset pick. It was just lovely. I absolutely love it as I think about it. But, yeah, I think it's Yofi. I think just the lack of Chuck's skill with Missouri. We talked about these guys kind of just went with their team to try to build them up in the long run. But, yeah, I mean, it's just going to be a tough hurdle for Chuck, and he just doesn't have it clicking offensively. You can see the stats there. He's 8.5 points per game and only 237 yards total offense. I don't see that improving against Yofi's defense, so I'll go with the Yofi.
Yeah, I expect probably a little bit of a low-scoring game there as we move on to our next game, which will be the new coach. Uncle Sam's Reject versus Nasty Natty Gaming. That game is going to be a matinee game at 3:30 on Tuesday. I believe it's going to be Switzo, who hasn't called a game yet, is obviously not in the G12, but obviously part of the NCAA Football 14 community. Switzo and Fantasy World League are going to be on that call at 3:30. Hotty Toddy, let's start with you first. You got new Uncle Sam Reject taking on Cincinnati. What are you thinking?
This is going to be interesting to see, what Uncle Sam's Reject can do with this Texas team. I'm excited. I don't really know anything about him. I never even heard of him until I heard he was in the G12. But I'm looking forward to watching him play. And I think Natty is probably, better than his record shows at this point. So I think it'll be a really, really good game. And I don't really have a pick for this one. I honestly have no clue.
All right, John, to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a must-win for Natty. Set 1-3, he's got to get back on that winning streak. Like I said, I don't know about a user game. This will be really interesting. We're going to learn a lot, kind of like we did tonight with Uncle Sam's Reject, how much online game he has. I think he said in chat earlier, I mean, he's 4-0 against some YouTube guys. So he's played some online games. That's a good start. Just because when it's unknown, I just go with the known is the kind of way I feel. I'm going to pick Natty, and that's no disrespect to Uncle Sam's. It's just me not having any knowledge of seeing him play in this league. And he could very well win this game. But I'm just going to go with Natty. Hopefully he's had some time to work on the offense and figure out what he wants to do. And it's a must-win game for him as well.
You makes.
Yeah, so Nasty was just kind of talking about the team disparity, and Nasty's one of those players. Like, we've seen him play in those tournaments. If Nasty was Clemson or Ohio State, I would probably pick him to win a lot more games this year. And John also mentioned this is a must-win game for Nasty. It's almost a must-win game in week 1 for Uncle Sam too, right? He's inheriting an 0-2 team. It's also his debut. I'm going to take Uncle Sam in Texas. A lot of that's just based on Texas. But he also he's saying he's played a lot online. He said he's played some other YouTube guys. He seems confident. So I'm going to take Texas to win and Uncle Sam.
Alrighty, there you go. I almost died right there. I'm glad you kept talking because I was literally just hacking up something. We'll go to our next game here. Again, appreciate Fantasy World League and the production truck has done a fantastic job. We really do appreciate you. D's Diabetes hasn't played in what seems like an eon of time. It hasn't been there, and going up against Baker, who just dominated tonight. That game is going to be on Thursday. At Thursday at 7:30 Central. We're not 100% sure the production is going to happen yet, but right now that's the game plan. Thursday 7:30 Central. Emigs, we'll start with you.
Yeah, this one was tough for me to pick. I feel like someone mentioned it earlier, like we're just forgetting about D's because he was undefeated for most of last year. I'm taking D's. I almost feel like it's somewhat of an upset. I mean, obviously, South Carolina is a lot worse than Ohio State on paper. But I like how D's plays. He seems to have a really good command of that playbook. And, yeah, I'm going to take D's to beat Baker.
Hotty Toddy?
I agree. I mean, honestly, I feel like I had kind of forgotten that D's was in this league. He hasn't played. I expect this to be a really, really close game, but I think Baker gets a turnover or two that keeps him confident, and he wins this game.
And you, John?
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about it, right? Like, I think we said it, like, which Baker do we get? We've said it all night. Is it going to be a week-to-week thing? I like Baker here, it's going to be a coin flip to me. I think it's a really close game, but if Baker can kind of start off good, I think it's going to be really hard to stop this offense of Ohio State, and that's why I'm going to pick Baker and Ohio State.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of games that could potentially be pretty muddy, pretty dirty, kind of get down into the nitty-gritty, and this seems like one of them. There's a lot of tough games that the computer's going to try to have to pick right this week, and I think it's going to be really close, tight spreads. To the next one. Do we have a next one? Yes. Oh, yeah, me. Yeah, I better be playing, right? Well, hardcore CFB, 2-0 against 2-2 Miami. It's so crazy that Thursday's already played 4 games to my – I guess I played 3 now.
3, yeah.
And he's still played 5, though, which is still insane. So he's got 2 games up on me. We are going to play on Monday at 8:30 Central. Looks like we have Emigs and Hotty Toddy on the call. So since you two are on the call, we'll start with John.
Yeah, I mean, pick him till he loses, right? I mean, that's unfortunately what I have to do. So I actually, at the beginning of the year, picked Thrizzy to beat Hardcore. That was the one game I said he was going to lose. So I think if he's going to lose one, this is probably going to be the one, in my opinion. But I can't pick it on here for my record, so I'm going to go Hardcore.
You're not going to go with your pick that you had at the beginning of the season?
No, I got to flip-flop. I mean, I can't.
You're a
I'm not an idiot.
I stuck with Rocky Top.
It's too close. I'm too close with Emigs at this point.
You're a sellout, dude. We'll go to Hotty Toddy.
I'm looking forward to this game. I can't pick against you hardcore at this point. You've given me no reason to pick against you. I do think this will maybe be a closer game than we've seen so far. I think Thrizzy can give you a close game, but he's just not going to have enough to get the win. So I'm taking Penn State.
And to Emigs.
Yeah, look, I've already picked against you twice. I thought Rocky Top and Yofi could take you down. I think I'm done. I'm picking Penn State. I agree with John that I do think of these remaining teams, Thrizzy probably as of now is the best shot to win. So I'll be surprised if he wins, but I won't be so surprised. But yeah, I'm gonna take Penn State. I'm tired of losing on those picks, so yeah, I'm going with hardcore.
I thought
You guys
it
are
was
selling
more
out.
natural.
Well, now that you guys have all
Sellouts.
taken me to win, I'm gonna get absolutely annihilated by Miami on tomorrow night.
Hopefully,
Actually,
you
so
look good. I would have picked that, 3.
no, you know,
four-
you can no longer claim that because you just went back on it. You
Oh
can
my
no
gosh.
longer claim that.
Well,
So,
Emig,
guys,
I'm pretty sure Emig said last week that he was always going to pick against you hardcore, and here he
That
is
way,
now
when
too.
he
So
picked you, yeah, he
that
did. He
is
said,
true.
so when he
So
picked it
everyone's
right,
just
he would
basically
feel good
lying
about
here.
himself.
I'm not lying. I don't even do picks. My dog does picks. I don't even know what I'm doing here.
We're gonna try to get to the next game here because we still have one more game. Everyone play this week, correct?
Yes. Week
Everyone
6, week
plays this
7,
week.
everybody plays. Yeah.
Yeah, so we are in like the full-on meat of the schedule, like the definition of meat of the schedule. Kaz Craig coming off that loss to me. Stoner, man, I don't know what's going on in my digestive tract here towards the end of this broadcast. But we got Stoner Gamer. We'll start with Hottie Toddy this time.
I am looking forward to this game. I think both of these guys have played well. I didn't know much about Kaz Craig. Stoner, I think, is probably overperformed at this point. I think it'll be a really, really tough game. But this is where we were talking a little bit about whether the talent of teams matters, and this is one place where I think it will, and I think Stoner Gamer gets the win just because he has a more talented team.
And we'll go to Emigs.
Yeah, I'm going with Kaz, and I think this is going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a good game, and I wouldn't be surprised if Stoner wins, but I don't know. I have a feeling Kaz is going to pull this one out. He's looked good in all his games. In that loss versus you, he looked good. Came back against D's down 14. Yeah, it's a worse team, but I'd be curious what the top 25 are versus these ratings we're seeing here, but I'm going to go with Kaz and FSU.
John, what you got?
The bottom line, boys. See that bottom line on the screen?
Turnovers.
One is -3, one is +3. One guy's taking care of the ball, one guy hasn't. Now, here's
One
the
guy
caveat to
also
that.
threw
One
8
guy has
dropped
probably thrown 7 interceptions that got dropped. Okay, I understand that. I've watched all the games. Does that continue? I feel like Stoner's got something going on where nobody can catch the picks. I don't know what setting that is. I need to get that setting. I get that in this game. Stoner's got it going. I'm going to go Stoner for that reason in a close game.
You got some voodoo mama
game,
juju.
So I got to pick him this week.
He's got some voodoo mama juju going on over there.
Trevor
That
just
game-
throws it so hard, no one can catch it. That's the problem.
That
Yeah.
probably might be it. That game's Thursday at 9 p.m. Central. Again, we don't have announcers yet. And then we will hopefully have that broadcast. Thursday's still a little bit up in the air, but that's the plan. Guys, before we say goodbye, quick thoughts, one last little kind of thought on maybe on anything you want to talk about. John, we'll start with you.
Office background was great. Love you guys.
Hottie Toddy, what you got?
Look, 6 games this week, guys. Like, what a week we're going to have in the G12. Looking forward to that. Going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you gave me this opportunity. Shout out to the college football revamped guys. They just dropped one of the coolest updates they're about to, where they're changing plays and they're also going to change the CPU play calling. I don't know how they're doing that, but I can't wait. It feels like we're getting a new game even before the new game. So,
all right. Well, I'm Hardcore CFB. John D. Robb to my left. And we got Emix below me and Hottie Toddy diagonal to me. Big shout out to 2 things. The chat for being super live and super awesome. Guys, join the Discord if you haven't already. And to Fantasy World League in the booth, a.k.a. G12 Network. Now, thank you so much for doing a great job, Fantasy.